Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Um, what seems to be bothering you lately? Anything going through your mind? Anything that's I
Um,
guess any problem that you have?
yeah, I have a date coming up next week, and the guy asked me out a couple of days ago, and I was in shock, so I said yes, but now I'm like kind of regretting it.
Oh, you're regretting that you said yes to the date?
Because I feel like, well, he's like this really popular guy or whatever, so
Okay.
I just feel like I'm like the loser type, so I'm like thinking twice about why he's asking me. So it's
Okay. So you're overthinking.
mhm.
Okay. Sorry, let me see if I understood correctly. Somebody asks you on a date and you feel like he's popular and you're nervous. You're a little nervous and you're kind of regretting that you accepted?
Yeah,
Okay.
just because he's like so popular and he hangs out with like all the popular kids and stuff, so it's kind of like making me paranoid and like
Okay, that definitely seems a little stressful. Let me, we're gonna go through this exercise. It's called, in cognitive therapy, it's called the ABCDE method. Um, so basically, we're gonna first talk about what's the event that's worrying you. Um, which in your case, you said that you have a date that's coming up soon, and you're worried about um, you're worrying about the the popular guy, and you're what makes you feel worried again?
I'm just worried because I'm scared that I'm not like good enough for him.
Okay, so you don't think that you're good enough for your date. Okay, let me write that down as the first step. Okay. We're not gonna skip the second step, and we're gonna go directly to your how you're feeling basically, because we need to understand what was first what you're feeling, and then we're gonna talk about what makes you feel that way. But so, how would you feel about this event or whatever?
I feel anxious and
Anxious.
I feel worthless basically.
Worthless?
Yeah, I feel like he he will think of me as a loser and because I don't hang around with much people and I don't have many friends, so I feel like he'll just think that I'm worthless and I feel worthless thinking that.
Okay. So you definitely feel anxious and worthless. Is there any other emotion that's going that you're feeling?
Paranoid.
Paranoid.
Yeah, that like what's gonna happen when I get there.
Okay. So you're feeling these three emotions mainly.
Yeah, those are the main ones.
Okay. Well, the these these emotions that you're feeling are a consequence of some beliefs that you might have. I don't know what you're thinking of the situation, but they might seem they might not seem too close to what is actually the reality of it. You know what I mean? So it might be helpful to if you tell me what exactly are you thinking when you feel these things towards the date?
Basically that I'm he's not gonna like me.
Okay.
I I feel I tell myself that I'll never be able to date again. And that's basically it.
The main
Those are
things
like
that
those are like the main things that I think that make me feel anxious and paranoid and like
and worthless.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that does sound very negative. Um, so basically, the two main thoughts that you told me are you don't think you're good enough. You're thinking that constantly, and that you won't be able to get a date ever again. Okay. Okay. Well, now let's move on to the fourth step, which is basically I'm gonna challenge some of the thoughts that you're having with I'm just gonna ask you why are you thinking the way that you are. So for example, thinking that you're not good enough, what makes you think that way about yourself?
Just because, well, thinking about the situation, I feel like I'm not good enough because
In what aspect not good enough?
I feel like he's like more popular and he has like more friends, whereas I have like 2 or 3 friends and that's it.
Okay. But
I just feel like he won't like me.
but he did ask you he already asked you on a date, right? And he knows you.
Yeah.
So it might not be a good idea to judge yourself instead of him. You know?
Yeah.
You don't know what he's thinking.
I do think about the fact that I'm like overthinking about stuff and I should just like go with the flow. But then these are like the negative thoughts that come to my mind and I'm just like, oh my god, like what if this actually happens?
Okay, so you're focusing basically on the bad outcomes that might happen. Okay. And what makes you think that you're not good enough for him? I mean, that you're never gonna be able to find a date.
Just because I feel like he's like the best I can get. Like if I don't get a date with him or I don't like get to like date him later on and stuff, then I'll just not be able to find a new one, or I'll, you know.
Have you had boyfriends in the past?
Yeah.
Okay. But have you experienced something, a loss like this, similar?
Yeah.
Let's say worst case scenario, maybe this date doesn't go well, and you know it just goes horribly. Have you ever been able to cope with something like that before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I've learned how to.
Okay. But then maybe it's not okay to think that this opportunity will be different, you know, because especially since in the past you have been able to cope with something like that, or something similar at least.
Well, yeah, as I said before, these are like the negative thoughts that come to my head because I'm having like this just stressful like time. There are definitely positives that, you know, it could be the other way around, like being being positive about
focusing on the alternative options or outcomes. That should be helpful. Well, closing up, I guess we can start not programming, but kind of you should start practicing the new belief, these new kind of ways or perspectives of looking at things. So, for example, the 2 things that we're focusing on right now, you not being as popular as him, it doesn't mean that you're unworthy or that he can't date you for that reason, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
And also, the interesting that you mentioned that you have been through something like this, through a similar situation.
Yeah.
So most likely, there's high chances that you will be able to cope with it in the worst case scenario, right? So these are the new beliefs or way of thinking, and then you should focus on these and practice them. You know, practice them as soon as you start thinking about these things. Think about these alternative things that we talk about, and then eventually, I think that you will start feeling better and you will be able to cope with that situation better. And get ready for your date.
Thank you.
So, no problem. Hopefully I'll be able to help you, and I'll see you next session.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.